I'll tell you how long we've been friends, because then you'll put my age together. That's not, it's strange. We never asked the lady her age. No, but I've known him probably about 25 years now, 25, 26 years. So I'm going down because his birthday was last weekend. So to celebrate his birthday, we'll probably have some dinner. And then he's graduating culinary school on Monday. So I wanted to be there for that. We're going to bring you lots of information, a lot about his journey and how he got to where he is, what he's doing, and some of the things that some of the talents and gifts that he has. He is a very, very, very talented man. I'm hoping to talk with him and talk him into writing another play so that we can get back into action and get back into our little acting bag. But super talented, very smart individual, just like me, always grinding, always working, and I love it to pieces. And so just wanted to touch base with you guys a little bit and let you know, because I've been getting some feedback and people think that our show is just for women. It's not. Just because it's for women, if you see, it is Strength in Silence, the podcast for the strong friend. And there's a lot of you men that act as that welcome. We're back to a new episode of Strength in Silence podcast. I am one of the hostess down here on location in Boynton Beach, Nikki J, with my bestie goodies, almost my love of my life, Chocolate,
yes,
aka Kai Anthony. We know each other by many names over the years.
Very much so.
And if you caught the little intro, as I said on the train, I've known him probably about 25, 26 years. Since 99, 2000.
A whole young adult.
Yeah. We was in the young adult choir together.
What? Everything. The layers of everything. So yes.
We did our praise dancing together, right?
Play.
We did the play No Not No More.
Yes.
We need to run that back, okay?
I said the same thing.
Yeah, we need to run that back and put it on somebody's network. So whoever's out here listening, we do a little acting too, okay? All right, so listen, it is it's good to see you again, of course.
Likewise.
You know, I came down to help him celebrate his belated birthday, and we also have something to celebrate outside of that, but that'll come towards the end.
Yes.
So as you know, this month is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, as well as National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We did a walk yesterday for the Victim Service Center up in Orlando.
Right.
And so we did a 4-mile walk yesterday morning. Toes were burning. Yeah, and the cool thing about it was we were able to walk through the street, like on the road,
right,
up Michigan, and we had BACA, thank you guys, that's bicycle, they're motorcyclists against child abuse.
Okay.
But I forget what the B was for. Bikers against child abuse. So they actually would ride and block off for us, and so and we had sheriff's escort as well.
Okay.
So that went pretty good.
So that's what you was doing yesterday.
That's what I was doing yesterday, amongst other things, the pre-roll and all of that.
Okay.
So I got some questions for you.
Okay.
We want to get on into it. You want to tell people about yourself and what platforms they can find you on, and under what name, first of all?
So hi everybody. My name is Patrick Dawkins, but you can find me under my social media name, which is Kai Anthony, KHIANTHONIE. TikTok, same name TikTok, same name Facebook. But with Instagram is Chef Kai, and Kai is spelled different, KY. So it's Chef Kai, KY. I'm on YouTube, but I can't remember it right now, but I'll plug it later. So I have 2 pages, so I'll probably cross them at this moment. But for the most part, I'm only 12. I just want to say that first.
Okay.
No, but I don't really know how to say it, but I'm a young black man, and I'm from a big family, and I had to find my own personal way throughout life, because you have so many personalities and ideas of your personal life from family members, and at some point I found my way. But right now I'm just making it do, taking it day by day.
I tell you one thing, he's been getting in his creative bag, and I'm gonna have to learn something from him. Him and CapCut, I'm telling you, he doing some things. I was like, ooh, that looked like a real, this man is making commercials and stuff. Like, hey, putting all kinds of designs and
But listen, that was not even me years ago. I didn't want to be on social media. I didn't know nothing about no computer. I was like a dinosaur. I was like, wait, what did thing do? Cut this. So I mean, for me, it's mind blowing in itself. For me to be doing that.
Yeah. Okay. So you ready to jump into it?
Let's go.
Okay. So our podcast is for the strong friends, and we've gotten a lot of feedback. A lot of people think that because it's for women, that our show is for women only, and it's not. Like I said earlier, you men are strong friends as well.
Yes.
And men cope with things a totally different way than women do. Okay? So it's very important for us to touch on our brothers, right? And support our brothers in their healing journeys. and helping them unpack their trauma, and to also share some coping skills with you if you're that strong friend or you're going through something that, some of the things that we've been through, and then some of the ways that we've overcome those things, negative and positive, right? Because one thing about us, we're going to keep it a buck. Keep it a stat, we're going to keep it 100. So I got a couple questions for you.
I got $1.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing and what does strength and silence mean to you personally?
Ooh,
I know that was a lot in one question.
No, but that was like, hit the ball. But yeah, strength and silence, just the title alone, I could say that speaks for me. Like I stated before, I have a big family, and you have these different personalities and different ideas of your personal life, but you sometimes get sidetracked and you're crying and screaming on the inside to get some help, and you expect those that are older than you or have been here before you, whether it's aunt, uncle, mom, you expect them to give you a better, or know when you're suffering, or try to pacify that, and it's just like, get up, do what you gotta do, and it's like, I'm screaming, I literally suffered and screamed and scrambled in silence for years. I want to say over 20 years, 20 plus years, and it started out probably teen on back once I knew it was an issue. But I screamed for so many years, and trying to get others to help, sometimes you have to just pull away and figure out what is it you want with your own life.
Find yourself.
Yes. And that was the biggest thing for me, because I was always a people pleaser. It's like, you mad at me? Oh no, wait, don't be mad at me. What do you want?
Let me fix it.
Yeah, it's like, I got it, and then you fix it and they still mad. So no matter what you did, you were still gonna have somebody feeling some type of way. So at the end of the day, the only thing that can keep you forward and straight is just do what works for you.
Yes.
Move in your own lane. If you have to create another lane, create that. We'll build it. I mean, I don't mind. I did. So you just have to move, but I don't feel like it's in silence anymore.
Okay.
I feel like it's screaming. It's like, I'm going through this, and I'm going to get through this. I'm going to take this direction. It's just, what you call it, a full circle moment.
Ooh,
it's a full
like
circle
that.
moment. It's like, I seen all this, I went through all this, and it's just like, oh, I'm back here, but now I'm finna take this trip again, but I know how to handle it.
A different perspective.
Yeah, we finna do this from an adult perspective, and I don't want no outside cheerleaders or directions where I want you to go this way, and it's the only way to go, because I did that for so many years.
Right.
And I refuse to do that in my adult life.
That's that strength part.
Yeah.
Right. So we go through what we go through in the silence. And one thing I wanted to point out to anybody that's listening is, some people think that they see somebody's head, oh, they're going through it. Oh, let me check on them. But you know what's funny? The one that you really need to check on is the one that's the clown, the one that's keeping everybody else laughing and joking and all that all the time.
That was me.
Because, we talked about this.
Yes.
I was screaming inside,
yes.
but I would not allow anybody around me to be sad, because I wanted to be for them what I needed.
Right.
So I've seen a meme somewhere that said, when somebody can reach down and lift you up while they're going through, that's love, right? And so we get caught up in the fairy tale and the romantic love, but we don't even recognize the real pieces and bits of love that are right around us, right?
We was never taught it. We never knew how to handle it.
That's
we
it.
never knew what it was.
That's it. That's it.
Never knew.
A lot of us don't even know what real, genuine love is. You know that?
This is true. This is true.
Well, you answered that swimmingly. I
Right.
like this.
Thank
I like this. This is my baby. If y'all ever see us interacting online, you'll see, hey, chocolate.
Right. Like Peaches and Her.
We chocolate
Vanilla and chocolate.
And I know people are like, who is that?
What's going on? Don't worry about it.
That's right. That's my baby, okay? So, did you ever feel like you had to be the strong one in your family or friend group growing up? And what did that look like?
Always. And it goes back to the keeping everybody happy, the clown of everything. And, I call it an emotional filler. even when a person is trying to disguise how they feel, something in me says this person needs about 10 seconds of your energy. You know, just go on and give one punch in the throat. And it's just constant reminding yourself that you have to move forward. You have to get past that, and also be that person for yourself sometimes. Sometimes just act crazy and get in the mirror, just If you see me on TikTok or any social media platform, you'll know why I am the way that I am. Because at this point now, I'm enjoying the craziness.
Yes.
You know, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying myself. I actually see myself for who I am. I used to always downplay myself or felt I wasn't good enough for other situations and people. But at this point, I have the power to say I demand respect. If I can't get it, moving right along, I don't give it energy, negative energy or anything like that. So I think I'm in a good space right now.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Beginning to embrace yourself and all of yourself, because we live, you know, we kind of old fashioned a little bit, but we're moving into this new school.
Right.
And it's like so many people are living in a facade.
Yes.
Like you see people posting stuff on social media and you be like, what the hell, I know you in real life.
Right.
Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Sit your, you know what I mean? But that authenticity shining through, that's important, and it's powerful. And that's why we came up with this kind of podcast, because you know a lot of people out there talking about they male bashing, they female bashing, they talking about the latest the dirt, celebrity dirt, and all that. It's enough of that. We need some healing, and I think in this age of Aquarius, we are beginning to wake up, and we're beginning to come back to that community.
Right.
And that's what's going to help us get through, right?
Exactly.
And so recognizing that power and strength in and of yourself, and loving you, who you are and how you show up.
Right.
Not being a face for social media.
Right.
Not being a face or that people pleaser.
Right.
Because you can never please everybody, right? That's the first thing you have to understand.
Exactly.
Then you develop all these personalities trying to please everybody. Oh, well, this one needs a nurturer. This one needs a mama. This one needs a daddy.
Yes.
This one needs somebody to dump all their shit on.
Yes.
This one, this one is, I'm a financier for that one. I had to, listen, Jay told me, shut down the cake factory.
Right.
He was like, you don't have to buy nobody.
At all.
And I had to really sit with that and think. I was mad. I was like, I ain't caking.
Leave me alone.
Because first of all, I'm a Scorpio. And a Scorpio is the most I got it friend that you'll ever meet. You know, when I give, it's out of my heart.
Straight up.
And not looking for nothing back.
And it would definitely most times be your last, but you're making sure that person is good, you know, and that makes you feel good on the inside.
Indeed.
That's exactly how I capture your personality, because you've been 100 and inspirational from the entire time dimension.
Same.
So yes.
Same. And that's important to keep that face, to keep the core of who you are, and embrace who you are for real. Because guess what? That's a gift. And every time you put them wigs on and get the cutting up, you hear me? You making somebody laugh, but somebody can relate to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's very relatable,
Right.
and I think that's important for people to be able to say, okay, this is my crazy. Well, somebody enjoys my brand of crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a way of providing support as well.
That is too.
In real time.
It also can be shared with other people and stuff like that. But it's, for me, I enjoy making myself laugh. When I look back at my videos and stuff, I be like, this man here.
Like, was this me for real?
Yeah, like a lot of the other videos I do, I be like, oh, I don't know who that was, but
right.
He's showing out.
Right. Sometimes I'll be like, Pat, what is it? Because I'm sitting here with Patrick, okay?
Right.
I'm like, Pat, what the hell? Where that came from?
What that mean, dude?
Yes. But you know what's crazy, though? People don't even really realize that a lot of actors and performers, actors more specifically, come from abusive backgrounds.
Yes.
You know why?
Yes.
Because they had to act, they had to put on a face like wasn't nothing wrong. They had to be this person for mama. So, you know, if mama drank too much today, let me be this person for her.
Yep.
Let me take care of her sometimes, switching the roles to the parent and all of that stuff.
Yep.
So people don't even realize that. Look at Robin Williams.
Yes.
Made people laugh all the time.
Had no idea he was
He was going through it.
That shocked me, because that was another grounder for me too, because I connected with that in so many ways at a younger myself that I had no idea. So when I got older and revisited that same thing, I was like, this is like, bam, myself.
Okay. So getting into the awareness and prevention for this, April is both Child Abuse Prevention Month and Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Right.
What does this month mean to you, and how is it intersected with your own personal journey?
So, I'll be frank, and this is something that I struggled with for a long time to even have a conversation about. I'll try to go fast and stay with me. I don't want to draw y'all out. But for the most part, I remember a situation when I was 11 years old. It will never leave my brain because it traumatized me to the max. We was living in this community. My mom went to work. We had our system down pat where we went to church. We caught the school. It's a church bus that came through the neighborhood. We rode that bus to school, and at that time, I was having problems with reading. I couldn't read correctly, you know. I had ADHD and I didn't know it at that time, so I would read stuff backwards over, you know.
Dyslexia.
That yes, all of that. So it was just like, even down to playing a guitar, I had it backwards, and they was dying laughing at me, and I was thinking, what is wrong?
Right.
I don't know. But going to the church, I explained to my Sunday school teachers, it was 2 guys, and I let them know that I was having a problem reading. So when they called me to read in class, I never wanted to. Don't do me like this. If you want me to read something, give me a 30-second heads up so I can proofread it real quick so I can have an advancement, because I'm gonna stumble through these words. So did that, and I guess they kind of like preyed upon that, and they kind of was like, oh, we're gonna help you. So they, every Sunday after class, you know, they would read to me or try to help me read stuff going to, before we left on the church bus to go back home. And at this time they had Pizza Hut. I think they probably still have it. You know, read so many books, you get a personal pan pizza.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, book it.
So we was doing that, and I kept telling them, everybody in my class getting one, and I can't get one, and it was just like nobody really paid attention to the major problem. I needed a tutor, you know. I needed somebody to help me, and everybody was just thinking, because I'm alive and I'm a child, you supposed to know this. I had no clue. I didn't know. So this particular Sunday, went to class. The Sunday before, they told me to ask my parents, was it okay if they took me to Pizza Hut after class? That was not supposed to happen. You know, the fact that they asked me that. And I never went and told my mama that. I just was like, I'm going to just go. You know, and then they were like, we're going to have you home before time. What time did your mom get off? I'm like, she get off at 4 o'clock. You know, the bus should drop us off by 2:30, you know, so we should be home well before she get there. Long story short, they was like, come on, let's go. I got in the car with these people. I rode with them to go to Pizza Hut, because in my mind, I'm an undercover fat kid and pizza me.
Yes.
You know, give me pizza.
Please.
You know, so in my mind, it was all about pizza. They showed me that love that I did not have at home. It was more so nurturing. They cared about at least I thought, they cared about how I felt, you know, on the emotional side. But on the other, they were grooming me. So we go to Pizza Hut, or we're headed to Pizza Hut, and you know, I can remember it verbatim, because it's kind of like I'm sitting in the back seat. You know, you see this little kid sitting in the back seat in the middle, so you can see both people in the front seat.
Right.
And you know, they're talking, and you know, you have the rearview mirror, and if I look up, I can see their conversation. But at this age, I didn't know what was going on. They having conversation with each other without looking. So then the passenger says, I knew him as green eyes and blue eyes. The passenger says, we need to go by the house and get these, we forgot the Pizza Hut cards. Yeah, let's go and get these Pizza Hut cards so we can go and get these pizza. Let's go. You know, so they pull up to the house. The driver goes in to go get the cards. He makes a phone call to the one that's in the passenger seat. Hey, come in. So they didn't want to leave me in the car. Now they want to be all adult-fied. We want to leave in the car. Come inside with us. You know, so now I go inside. Go inside. I swear to you, I heard like 20 locks lock. And it was like, at that moment, I felt my soul leave my body, because I felt I had done the wrong thing. At this moment, it was like, they just locked all these doors. These are 2 grown-ass Caucasian men. What you finna do? So it's like, and the thing is, their house was set up how the house we lived in. Only difference is their patio was screened in, and it had a jacuzzi there. You know, it was like, not even screened in. It was a whole nother room.
Oh.
You know, where it was like you went out there, you felt the AC and everything.
Oh,
so
like a Florida room.
In. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was closed in and everything. I didn't see but probably one window.
Okay.
But it was entire in, you know, and it was like, like I said, I felt weird the whole time, and going through it, it was like, so they offered me this juice.
Okay.
It's like, you want something to drink? And I'm like, well, we can't even get tickets. What are we sitting down for? Why are we knocking doors? You know, but y'all are adults. I'm trying to ride through, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up in Pizza Hut. So when I tried to tell, because now, let's be honest, a sexual transaction happened.
Okay.
And I was taken advantage of. I don't know how, to what capacity and how much, but I know my bottom was hurting. And I'm sitting in Pizza Hut, this big pizza in front of me, what I've been expecting all these years, or you know, waiting all this time. Like a pizza, instead of giving me a personal pan, they got me a large. What kind do you want? We sitting there, and I remember the waitress coming over to you guys anything because they had the buffet. So they would bring the pizza, but you can go get your salad, you know. So I go back to, I never left the table. The lady comes over to the table and she says, do you need anything? And when I tried to speak, my voice was hoarse. It was more so like, and she was like, you okay? You know, she's trying to find out there's something wrong. They're sitting on this side of the table. They done had this snack. And I mean, like, let's realistically, I found a better way to vocalize it. So I'm not making light of it. It's just, let's be real.
Yes.
They've already had this snack. They don't even want no pizza. They don't have no salad. They just sitting in. It's more so like, mind you, it's dark outside. So it's no longer I'm getting home before my mama get home.
Oh my.
It is now 8 o'clock at night. I don't have no phone. You know, they ain't reach out to nobody. I never told my mama where I was. Are y'all taking me home after Pizza Hut? So the lady come back to the table, and now I'm trying to get up, and that's when I felt like my whole body just fell. And then they tell her his mom is on drugs. We've been looking out after him. You know, he's, you know, it's like
they had a whole story.
And then I'm thinking, are y'all going home with me? Because I need y'all to tell. I have a African American mother.
A black mama.
I was supposed to be home
before the street.
So I need you two Caucasian men to go, and I don't know what y'all done did, but I need y'all to spare me when I go to this house.
Right.
So here go me. I get dropped off on the corner. It's raining. I get shoved to the door, and they left.
Oh God, dog.
Now I have to go in the house and deal with mom. This lady, I won't say abusive, but she wanted us to follow rules, and I knew I was 6 hours late.
Way outside of rules.
The street lights was on, so it's just like, what are you doing? Open the door. It was more so like, where you been? What you doing? Get in the room. And at that particular time, her boyfriend he didn't think she chastised us. So when we go into the room, he always made sure she opened the blind in our room to make sure that she did. It wasn't just a sound effect. So me looking, she tells me to drop my pants. Okay, I drop my pants. My drawers are bloody red. But I continued to get chastised, and I got a beating and was told to go to bed. I wasn't, what happened? What's wrong? You know, go take a shower. You know, did you eat? Yeah, I had the pizza in my hand, but it was no concern at all for me, I believe. So I shut down for a number of years.
Wait 1 minute. Let's stop right there. So you mean to tell me you went through this? First of all, do you know what the drink was?
No.
Okay. So obviously they slipped you a Mickey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the aftermath of that was evident in your clothing. And you still got an ass whooping.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I never spoke about, that was 11. I never spoke about it till I was 25. Me and my mom was doing this catering event, and I let her know what happened. And I tried to let her know, I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know, at this point I want to just, this type of conversation, you know, like, let me get this off of me. I don't know how you going to take it, but hello, Shirley, this is Barbara. I don't know, but I just want to say something. I really wanted her to be that mother and say, oh, I'm sorry. But she jumped into defense mode. That never happened. I don't remember that. I do.
Right. It happened to me.
It wasn't.
I remember.
Yeah. It wasn't no explain or where you getting this from. It didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. You know. So I'm sitting there with her trying to keep a straight face because at the same time I'm still that people pleaser. I'm 25, but I'm still being that people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw she was getting frustrated, so I kind of beelined the conversation. We went to talking about something else. Then maybe 4 years later we had the same conversation. She didn't remember that conversation. So I again never said anything else about it.
Okay. So sometimes, let's unpack that a little bit. Sometimes people really don't remember because they block things out
Exactly.
for multiple reasons: guilt, inadequacy, helplessness, hopelessness, whatever it is. Then there's other times that people do remember,
Mm-hmm.
but that guilt, that shame that they didn't act will make them say, oh, I don't remember that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've experienced something similar through
Right.
church. I'm not bashing church. We're not bashing church. I don't attend church anymore. Church is a hospital, right? We always heard Pastor Dawkins say that.
Right.
It's a hospital and you rather than being here than out there. But I will say there are many predators in the church. And I'm telling y'all to make sure that you are mindful and you have vetted who you are releasing your children to.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That's very important. And the other thing is, my incident was a little bit younger, but it was also with a Caucasian male that was babysitting me while my mother was at work, babysitting me and my brother while my mother was at work from the church.
Right.
Okay? So police got called and all that type of stuff. But in your situation, did you ever see them again?
No. Went to school, church the next day. Nowhere to be found. We was in a different class.
Wow.
So they knew they had done something wrong. They got out of Dodge.
No retribution for you. So that in and of itself compounds the pain and the trauma, right? Let me just stop because I don't want to gloss over this. I want to say thank you for sharing that, because there's a lot of strong men and women who have endured what you've endured,
Right.
less and more,
Right.
and have not found the strength to talk about it to somebody they care and trust, let alone talk about it where we're sharing this for other people. And so one thing I want to ask you, I know that was a little difficult, so how do you feel, or what is your purpose in sharing that? What do you want people to get out of your story?
I will piggyback on to, don't just shove your kids out to somebody because you got something to do, or they gonna babysit while you running downhill, or you investigate, ask questions,
Yes.
Get to know their teacher. If they coming home talking a lot about these teachers, so excited, find out why, because it's not friends, it's an adult and it's a child. There should be no way that these two are on the same level.
Right.
Something is wrong.
Right.
Check it out.
I'd piggyback that. Horseback, all the backs, 110%.
But I gotta say this too. One thing that I have always admired about you is that no matter what, like when we go way back to when I was doing the girls' hair and everything like that, you have always been inspirational and protective in their life.
Yes.
And that's what I admired in you because I didn't have it in my life. So I respect that. I
Okay.
appreciate that visual.
Yeah, I've had some of my failures too, blind spots. But I literally just found out recently that my second husband kissed one of my children on part of her mouth and made her uncomfortable. And that sunk me, right?
Right.
Some people might say, oh, that's not much. Maybe it was an accident. No, it wasn't an accident.
That was supposed to happen.
No. And the thing about it was, and let me make sure I said my second husband, okay? The thing about it was, had I known, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. You know that.
Right.
That's probably why she didn't tell me.
And she knew where you was gonna go with it.
And then at that time, I wasn't stable. I would probably still be in prison. And who would have raised my children?
Right.
Because my mama was already gone. My daddy didn't raise me, and he wasn't capable of raising nobody.
Right.
So I can say I hurt for her now because I was super protective.
Exactly.
And try to make sure that didn't happen on my watch.
Right.
And even though they didn't go through each
Right.
of what I went through, that in and of itself, that still to me is a failure.
Traumatized you too.
Yes. And I'm literally finding this out, within the past couple of months.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So now, like, I'm angry. And I want to reach out, find and reach out, stalk. No, I'm just not stalk. But I don't do illegal things. I say that many times on our podcast. And stalking somebody and chopping them in little bits is illegal as hell. So I wouldn't
just
do
make
that.
Jokes of it. It's fun to say because that's if it was an out of body reaction, it probably would. But we know we can't get in trouble, so we not trying to go.
Indeed. But that was very humbling for me in this space now. So I appreciate, the acknowledgement, but I still have had my blind spots, even in spite of trying to be hyper vigilant, and that happens sometimes. So another question that I wanted to ask you, what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions about male survivors of trauma or abuse?
I think most men are told it's not, just move on, it'll be all right. You're about to talk about that. You're supposed to just hide it, keep it to yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm a living witness that it could literally take you out. It could literally take you out. And it has put me in several situations where I have tried to take my life because it was too much to handle. The thoughts, the running thoughts, the memory of it all, the feeling, the smell, the taste, the touch, and all of those
triggers.
Things it was like, I can't do this no more.
Right.
18, I tried to slit my wrist and also take pills. This was like 2 or 3 pills. At that time I'm 18, I'm thinking 2 or 3, one finna die. That's what I thought, but they just put me in a psych ward for a couple of days and we gotta check you out, and I was like, I'm not doing this again, because again, I don't like isolation.
Right.
I can't go when I want to, but I'm gonna be good, I promise, and I was like, I'm not gonna do this no more. Again at 32, 32, I was living with a family member and I just didn't want to be there. I literally went and checked into a hotel and I literally planned my last day on this earth. I literally sat there and I love pizza. I didn't go to Pizza Hut, I went to Papa John's. I got the brownies, I got me a personal pan, not personal, but the small 10-inch or whatever. I'm in the hotel, I have 60 Xanax, 60 Vicodin. I don't know what the other ones were, but I took a few of those too, but I do know I downed these 2 bottles. I have a video on YouTube, and I really wish I could remember it. I think it's Patrick Dawkins 1 this page is on. This video is on, but I actually was talking, and this was the next day after. I think I did the video before, and then I did a video the next day after, which was like, why am I still here? I'm supposed to wake up. And I woke up right out of the bushy tail. I did a video, I ate my last meal, I laid there, I even drank a beer. I was like, yeah, we're gonna go out on a bang. Nobody knew where I was. I checked into the hotel, my intentions were not to wake up the next day. And at that moment, all the stuff that I had taken to try to take my life, it didn't take me out. That was probably my 3rd time trying it. But at that moment, I knew I was supposed to be here. So I never tried it again. This is, what, 32? And every time that urge or that thought comes up, boy, go sit down. Go walk around the corner, go draw on the wall, go create something, go do something. I had to fill that gap because I know I never want to be in that place again. Watching that video back is just heart-wrenching for me because I was screaming for help. I was screaming for help in that video, and I really felt my heart was like, there was no repairing it. At that moment, I felt I was at my lowest, and let me go over here and just go on and check out. They won't miss me anyway. Right.
And that's important. That's important to talk about because the thoughts will come.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. The thoughts will come. But one, you don't have to act on them. Okay, that's the first thing. The other thing is, and I always tell people this, every thought that you think is not necessarily your thought. You have to understand that you are a bioelectrical being, and frequency and energy is how we operate, right? And you also have to understand people have been speaking over you and speaking into your life since you were a child. That's why I tell people all the time, stop saying that child is bad. You're speaking something into their life. When the book says the power of life and death is in the tongue, I don't care what you believe, any spiritual practice, sound is very important. Okay? Regardless of what you believe, you have to be mindful of what you're putting out. And you also have to be mindful of what are you saying over these children. People have said all kinds of, oh, she fast, oh, she's this, oh, she's that, oh, he's this, oh, he's that. Teachers, oh, you dumb, you this and that. And people grow up believing they're dumb, they're stupid, they can't. Those are not your thoughts. You're going to be just like your father. When my father off this up, this is just a hypothetical.
Right.
So, oh, if I'm just like my father, well, I'm going to go do that too. Or you should just kill yourself. People say that a lot now. I hate hearing that. Kill myself laughing. I'm not going to say that. I mean, I just did. But now, listen, I'm going to put a pause here because both of us will use humor. That's just our one of our coping mechanisms. And that's one thing we vibed off. That's one energy that we share. Exactly. Because it's not funny, but what old folks say, laugh to keep from crying.
Yes.
But I want to go back to that.
Own pain.
Yes. So it's important to understand that those intrusive thoughts are likely something somebody may have thought about you. Because don't get it twisted. I can't go really into the esoteric stuff because everybody don't understand that, and it's weighty and heavy. But humans used to communicate through telepathy. That's what the Tower of Babel was really about. I didn't have to talk to you. I could think it, and you know it and understand it immediately. The confusion came in where, boom, we're closing the door on that. We're shutting that down. You don't have access to that anymore. So now you have to use words and spelling. Listen to it. Spelling. So what you speak out of your mouth can be witchcraft in a way. You understand what I'm saying? Depending on whether it's negative or positive. So now when I talk, how many times have me and you said, I've been misunderstood? I said this, but they saw it this way. So you really have to be mindful of what you say out of your mouth. And so those intrusive thoughts may be something that somebody spoke over you some point in your life, that somebody thought about you. You could just be intercepting somebody else's thought waves. Listen, when I say energy and frequency, think about this. For those of you who aren't sold on this idea of this theory, plug in your radio, turn it to your station. How is that same song, that same radio station playing for you and anybody else close enough to tune into that frequency? It's invisible, right? It's radio waves. All of that, we can't see it, but all of that, from the TV to the phones to the modems to the computer, all of that, those are radio waves and frequencies that are flying around all the time. You're a bioelectrical being. So you don't think you're going to feel some of that? You don't think you're going to intercept some of that? But the important part is, and this is what I really want to hone in on, when those thoughts come, the important thing to remember is let it come. Don't grab it, because they're not all yours. The problem is they come and then we grab onto them and say, yep, I like this one, I'm going to hold on to it, this is my thought. And then we begin to internalize it. Acknowledge the thought. And this is a practice, it takes practice, right? But this is something that I started recently, over the past couple of years. The thought enters, and I say, okay, I acknowledge that thought, but this is not for me. And reject it.
Pass it right along.
Go back to wherever you came, or better yet, God, creator, universe, whatever it is you believe in, transmute this negative energy into positive energy so that it can operate in my highest good, helping me to be the best human being that I can while I'm here. And that takes practice to do in the moment.
Definitely.
So I'm glad that you said, you don't ever want to be in this space again, and those thoughts still do come. It's just a matter of whether or not you act on them.
Yeah, I just found out to just do something different. Then what I've noticed, it comes and it sits for maybe 5 or 10 minutes and then it's gone. If you just do something for them 5 or 10 minutes to distract your brain, I promise you will be okay.
Redirect. Don't sit in it. That's important. Don't sit in it.
You're like, wait a minute, hold on, I'll be back. Go
Right.
do something.
Right. Go for a jog, go for a run. And that actually segues into, because I know this has been a little heavy, and I will put a trigger warning at the beginning, so you should have already seen this by now on post-production. Because it's important that we talk about these things.
Right.
Okay? Everybody can't yet, but I'm telling you, Patrick is telling you to get to somebody or a safe space where you can unpack these things, because it can cause disease in the body.
No, seriously.
Right?
Seriously.
Back aches, body aches, you wonder why these phantom aches, you don't understand why. Maybe it's something you haven't unpacked. And you don't even necessarily remember it all the time. It comes in pieces. Some of my trauma released in phases. And once you get to a place where you calm yourself down and your nervous system is relaxed a little bit, the brain is very powerful. It says, okay, I think he can handle this now, so let me give him this piece of it.
Right.
And then you get another piece of the memory, right?
Yep.
So segueing into my next question, what are some healthy coping mechanisms that you have developed over time?
Healthy. Well, over the years, I've learned to be more organized. Like, I'll say one of my things was back in the day, my mom used to point out, if I go to organizing something, a cabinet or the dishes or something, oh Lord, what's wrong?
Yes.
She knew, and it was like, and I'm thinking I'm doing something nobody knows, and it's like after so long, she used to catch on. So now I'm trying to not do exactly that, so they can't pick up. I didn't want them to know me, but this is something I wanted for years, for them to be able to zoom in and pick up. But because I had created a whole mental system to process, I ain't need you no more.
Right.
It ain't that I didn't need you, but mentally, this had a whole system working for itself. It was like mama was here, daddy was here, we got cousin, brother, sister, but mentally it was a support system that I wanted in the physical that I had to work out in the mental.
And you developed them within yourself.
Yes.
And for some of you who've been watching us for a while, you'll understand what he's talking about is parts work. You all have these parts. We develop these parts.
Right.
I have Nick Dog. That's the one that's gonna fight you. Okay. There's Nikki. There's Joy. She was a stripper. That's a whole nother story. Read the book. There's baby Keisha. There's corporate Keisha.
Right.
It's a couple of us, but depending on the situation, that's who's going to show up. And so I mentioned like baby Keisha, right? We know that our trauma shapes a personality.
Exactly.
And some of these personalities or protectors develop and stopped at that point of trauma in our life.
Does not age.
No.
Does not age. And
No.
as you were saying that, I was like, because it made sense. Like, I travel here from the Tri-Rail. We were talking about it, and it just made sense in this moment when you were saying that, because remember I was saying that I don't know all of their names? It just made sense. Those are stages of me at those ages of my life. And I categorize them as mom and dad, sister, brother, but
It's the age of maturity.
yeah, I see the layers, and it's just like, oh my God, like literally.
And the other thing is, they don't all come out unless it's safe to, right? So, baby Keisha, I sleep with a dog. A little stuffed dog. His name is Foofy. I think I might have mentioned him before. But Jay gave him to me as the first stuffed animal he gave to me. And when you came to redecorate my house years ago, he was like, if you don't get all these stuffed animals off your bed, now, okay, you need to have grown-up life now.
How many did I have? You remember I had the whole Winnie the Pooh collection.
Right.
The shower curtain, everything, the rugs, the mat, the bed. I just loved Winnie the Pooh. He gave me, in my life, it just brought joy, because he was so happy to eat.
Yeah.
He was just
And we love food.
Yeah,
Because how you know when we get food.
Go to dance.
We get to dancing. Y'all know y'all do that. Don't just laugh because it's not just us.
Me.
Yeah, a whole lot of us.
You might not do like this. We might do the bankhead bounce.
Okay,
but you
like
dance when you eat.
this food is good. Yeah, but yes. So, baby Keisha comes out when I'm safe.
Right.
Like, and one of my daughters really hates it. My middle daughter, she hates. Mom, why are you talking in that baby voice? And then she'll run back in. Mm-hmm. It's not safe to be that.
Because somebody called it out.
Because somebody called it out. And I don't even notice. Like sometimes if something really gives me a lot of joy, she just slip right on out. And then if it's safe, because Jay said he liked dealing with her because she's the easiest one to deal with.
Everybody feel the same way. Like I said, I don't know the actual name, but that personality of mine, everybody likes that one. And when that one is not around, I don't like you. You ain't the fun cat.
Right.
Obviously, something in this area need to be detected. So I'm zooming in, and I can't be who you want me to be right now. I got to be what I need for me at that moment. So, sorry.
In danger, there's a firefighter.
Right.
For me, that's Nick Dog. What? That's the one that's gonna fight. Right. So you may or may not be cognizant of, but people that know you know that.
Exactly.
Because if you hear me listen to gospel music, and it's not a Sunday, what you think?
Get out of Dodge.
You know me.
Clear it.
Right? If you see me organizing the house and I'm quiet,
run.
Exactly.
Or just leave me be. I'm not bothering you. Sometimes, for me personally, I can shut down and we can be in the same space no matter who it is, but I might not even talk.
Right.
I just need you to be there.
Right.
I already need you to talk. We ain't even gotta interact.
Right.
It's just that moment you need, so
to work through some things on your own.
Yes.
Okay. So would you say that low moment of you trying to take your life, was that the turning point for you? Or did you experience other low moments after that? Because healing isn't linear, right? It's not a straight line. We have these ups and downs, peaks and valleys.
It's been different things, and one thing that I don't want to say stopped me, but one thing stumped me, and I want to just speak about, because this is very serious for me. I still don't know the final answer to it.
Okay.
But for years I've been hearing, that I had a different father. Mm-hmm. And it just threw me for a moment because I was like, what are you talking about? I never seen my uncle. Like I seen him in pictures and stuff. But one time when I seen him when I was younger, I felt like it was like a static, clean connection, but at the same time, I don't know this man, but he don't even want to talk to me. I'm trying to figure out, just like it was a ball of nothing. And then when he actually was deceased, I got a phone call and it was like, your uncle died. And I was like, wait a minute. I was at work, so I'm like, maybe they just missed up. So then we go to the memorial service, and my grandmother, which is his mother, is falling all down. Did you catch it? My grandmother, which is his mother, so this means this is my dad's brother. But she's falling down and she's over in the corner and everybody's asking me, are you okay? Are you good? I'm like, go check her out.
Right.
First off, I didn't really know him like that to even have any emotion by him. Mm-hmm. So it was just like, okay, uncle passed away and grandma over there sliding down the wall, but y'all standing in front of me, So I brought this back up to my mom. Brought this back up to my dad, and we spoke about it, and I want to say around the same time I had the conversation with my mom about the Sunday school teachers. We had this conversation in that dialogue, and she was, all we did was, me and your dad had a fight, and he came to break up the fight, and I was like, no, comfort. He came to comfort me. My thing is, like, let's be technical. We go back years, and comfort meant something different than it meant at that moment we were speaking. So I'm still processing, like, okay, Sean, when she ain't ready to talk now. The same, we had that other conversation at 32, along with the same dialogue, and she was more so like, well, I ain't do nothing. And it was like the high pitch for me had just told the whole story, because you don't talk high pitched,
right?
So break it down, But like I said, for me, I've always been understanding. I just wanted to know the truth. I wasn't judging you. I know times was different. I grew up in this stuff. I seen a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have seen, but I just wanted the truth. I returned and speak to the man that I know all my life is to be my dad, and ask him, hey, the only way we can solve this is, let's go do a blood test. He didn't want to do it because in his mind, he was more so like, do you know how much money your mom going to pay back in child support? I was like,
wait a minute.
How do you jump from this to this? I would want to know. I would want to know, and then if I'm bringing this to you, then in probably a couple months later, he was like, well, I had doubts, and you got the same fingers, you got to still body build. What?
Wow.
So you're telling me you had doubt. You should have checked that doubt when you had it.
Yeah.
But you allowed it to go along, so I get what we're doing here. We're supposed to just slide over stuff like it never happened. That's what y'all want me to do. I can't do it.
That's how it was back in the day.
I cannot do it.
Right.
And what happens in my house stays in my house. That happened in your house, it hurt me. I have to tell somebody.
Yes.
Do not sit on it. And like I said, at this point now, I still don't know the answer. But I've become peace with it. It don't even matter no more, because not knocking the man that I knew as my dad that's been there, but you haven't really been there. You haven't gave me that support, so I'm not deterred either way.
Right.
It's okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. Even down to like the mentioning of this man when he was passed away, it was more so like he leaves to more than 4 kids. Even in the news report, it was a question mark. Even in when I was invited to go to the funeral, because they had a memorial service here and the funeral was going to be out of town. They called me and asked me. Now, if I had never had no conversation with this man, why do I want to go to his funeral? Who are all going? Just me, you, and your uncle? Your other uncle? It just was like, I get it. Y'all don't want to talk about it. Y'all want to talk in blur terms. Okay, I get it. So I had to make peace with it. I was going to write the continuous part of that in my book, but I was like, you know what? This part I'm going to skip past. Okay. It don't deserve that much energy. I'm not, because you can get all caught up in it and emotionally disturbed. And I think what it did was shook both of them up. But it freed me. I had to let's get it off me, and like I said, now I can sympathize with them. I understand you can't give me what I want.
Right.
I understand that you can't even admit to what you told me or what you hinted around. But for me, I have peace because I know it. You just ain't gonna say it.
I'm not even gonna lie. When I saw the picture, I was like, "Dang, that look like that."
Exactly. Especially that college picture.
I stretched. I was like, oh my God.
Even people I showed, I would say, I'm going to send you a picture of my dad just to prank. And then I'll send the one that I grew up knowing as my dad. They was like, you showed it like your dad. I said, but hold it. Let me send this other one. Who the hell that is?
Stop.
I say, that's supposed to be my dad. They say, no, that first one is your daddy.
Yeah.
That's your daddy.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got to that's your daddy. And I'm looking at the height, the complexion, and out of my mom and dad, 4 siblings that they have together, I'm the darkest one. I'm the tallest one. I'm the athletic build. I love my family, but at some point we all...
You know what?
a little shaky. But I always felt like the black sheep, literally, when it came to that, when it came to dealing with them, when it came to the complexion. It was just, I was always ostracized at some point. So I had to find my happy medium. I always felt like I was too dark. That's why I called myself chocolate. Now I love chocolate.
Me too.
Meaning I love meat and I love candy.
Me too. Both.
Give me candy.
Both on.
Yeah.
Both on.
Sign me up. But yes, it just brought me to a happy place, and I'm just resting there because I grew up.
That's hard. That's hard, and that's growth. And I'm glad to see it on you. You and I had some deep conversations. Look, back in the day, he was doing my hair and the girls' hair, and we walking in the church. They talking about, oh, look at Patrick and his family. You know what? And we let them have it.
Had no clue. We just roll with it. Okay,
we let them have it. Yep. Okay.
Go ahead. No problem.
Didn't even know. This is my friend.
Right.
And the love that we shared has always been real from the beginning because we could talk.
Legit.
And there's no judgment.
But that's one thing I always wanted. Even when in a relationship, friendship, cousin, or whatever, sometimes I want to talk and be heard. And I felt like when we ever communicated, we was heard, and we had a lot of comparisons.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that I would say, you'd be like, yeah, and a lot of stuff you said, that makes sense. So it was like, I need this. I don't know. I didn't know if you felt that way, but I know I need this conversation and the relationship because it was always 100. Whether no matter where we were in our lives, whatever was going on, the friendship still remained the same. We don't be on the phone 30 hours a day, but when we talk, we catch up, and nothing has changed.
Right.
We've elevated in our careers or whatever, but that friendship and that bond stays the same no matter what. You know, like she said, the vanilla and chocolate, nobody will never get that, but until death do us part, this is vanilla. I'm chocolate.
You remember we was talking about that because Jay was saying, which one of them children said, because I said, well, maybe I'll just take this ponytail down here and let Pat do my hair. He was like, because he couldn't remember which one of them said, Patrick was giving you them old lady hairdo. I said, he made me look like a white lady. I don't know what you're talking about. I had hair down my back, baby.
What, 18 inches the first time?
And what did I say? If I ever get weave in my hair, you gonna know it's weave, honey, because it's gonna be to my booty.
They couldn't understand that, like, cause I mean, I think they look down at you and your kids, and that's one thing that bothered me. So I was like, you know what? Let me get my girl over here and bring the girls too. We got this, you know. And from that moment, I felt the bond because they're my nieces.
Yeah.
They are my nieces, and at some point, I let them create their own hairstyle. But I was like, keep it within reason because I know how your mama is. So
right.
I redirected a little bit, but we're going to give you half of what you want, half of what mama want. We're going to do this, but it's been consistent all the way. It's just distant is the difference right now. That's the only thing.
And I think they felt the way about me because I ain't wear pantyhose in church. Them things itch.
Too high. I want to wear socks on shoes.
Wait, okay. Brief interlude because I know this has been heavy. You remember that time you did that quick wig for me? What they call it?
Quick wig?
No, it was the wig. You made some kind of wig thing. Anyway, and you put that wig cap on, and I was sitting in church, and it got hot. Listen, y'all, I don't wear a hat because my brain sweats. Okay? Even when I have to wrap my hair at night, I be burning up. So I'm sitting in church, this big people church, in the middle of church, and it's itching. Listen, I don't have no shame neither. I went to tugging. I was about to snatch the wig off. Why I got popped in the back of my neck? Get up and go take your ass in the bathroom and take that damn wig cap off. Listen. Hey, he knew I was about to do it because I did not care. I did not care. I've never been a vain person, but that thing had done tilted.
But that's why I knew instantly to do so because you couldn't get rid of that real quick.
No. Ooh, we had some good times. We had some real good times.
Throughout the years, like for real. I was thinking about that when I came pick up. I was like, this has been my friend, my sister, my vanilla for 20 plus years.
Yeah. You old.
Yes, you are.
I keep telling people I'm going to live to 100, baby, because when I get to 50, I'm counting backwards. So I'm like 40. I'll be 48 this year.
I'm going to go back to 45.
We are aging gracefully, right?
Exactly. And I said to myself, I was like, even though I have the gray, I still feel like I look younger.
Yeah.
It's just more distinct. And I used to try to diet and all this stuff. I was like, I'm stepping into it. I earned it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I embrace it. I have my moments, though. Because sometimes we be like, girl, let that gray flow. And then other times we be like, okay, I'm tired of that. Because, you know, I'll switch up my hair. I be done shaved it off. Listen, note to y'all. If you see me with a bald head, know I have gone through a transformation.
Exactly.
Because you remember when I did shave my hair off that time, and it grew back, and I had that big fro with the machete? Mm-hmm. Ooh, that was Bush woman.
Yeah, Angela Bush. What
Not Win Bush, Bush Win.
Yeah, Angela Win Bush, my bad. I was just thinking about Bush.
Hey, that thing was wild. You know what? I should go back and I could sell that picture.
No, seriously.
That was an iconic picture.
Yes, and I was like, how did she get it to grow so and you committed to it too, though. That was another thing, because usually we switch.
Yeah.
But you committed to that and you were solid with it. So I was like, she went from the mini fro to the whoosh.
Yeah, I went natural. And your grandma,
the
Duchess, she like, baby, now when you gonna perm your hair? Because you too pretty to be walking around here with slave hair.
Why she took us away, man?
Now you know the Duchess would say whatever.
I told her I had to get her one time too. I love my grandma, rest her soul. But I used to have my personality changes or whatever. I used to do my yarn dreads and I cut my hair. And it could be all in the same week. And she said, you just go do anything you want to do to your hair. I said, just like you do with them wigs.
Woo!
And she was like, oh. But it was like, at that moment, it was one of them things where I was like, enough is enough. Y'all been just, So now I'm going to just be nice, nasty like you and give it back to you and walk off. And it didn't affect me at all. I was like, amen. We was in church.
Oh my God.
But her face was on the floor for a good little minute.
Oh, I bet. I bet,
she
boy.
had to gather herself.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yes.
So let's move into as we begin to come to a close. We over the halfway, but you know, not all of that. So I'm glad we're talking about family and relationships and approaches. What does it mean to you to break generational cycles? And what do you wish that your family or friends, let's say family, what do you wish your family would have done differently when you were struggling?
Pay more attention.
Okay.
Pay more attention. I know I can be a handful and I can ice a person. I've been icing people since I was probably 6, you know, and that makes them feel some type of way. But even in that moment, I've learned with dealing with people in this moment, sometimes some people are able to receive what you're ready to say to them, or you have to play hopscotch with them and be like, okay, y'all, they ready? No, they can't receive this right now. So we go. But then when they're ready, you can have that conversation and they receive it. But if you're trying to give it to them at the wrong time, it's going to be a head bump situation. I don't want to hear that. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you make it. And then it could blow up. So I've learned that because of what I went through in my life is, you know, dealing with family, how you can bump heads or nobody pays you any attention. They allow it just to be there and just give them a moment. And right now, at this point, they say, if I don't reach out to them or I don't talk to them or I don't answer when they call, oh, he's just in his moment. Well, he'll call us when he's ready. And it's just like, I'm just really probably at work or at school or doing something, but it comes out to be this big old thing. Well, yeah, I heard you, and Mom said you was in your feelings the other day, and I was like, who said that? I ain't talking to her.
Assumptions.
Yeah, so it's just because I'm moving along with my life and I'm not so readily accessible to you anymore that something's wrong. So that's guilt.
Guilt, deflection, shame, things that they haven't dealt with.
Right.
And that's one thing that you have to keep in mind throughout your healing process is that it takes an awareness to know if somebody is ready or not. So maybe you feed them little tidbits, right? I know I've tried that, and just kind of to gauge where they are, and you know, if you can see, okay, they can take this, then maybe you can go into your, but you have to ask people too, you have to try and be aware if like, hey, what's your emotional capacity right now? Because I need to talk about something important. And you and I have talked about looking at their phone, watching it ring, and like, I don't have the emotional capacity for this today. Because we try to help people while we're struggling, right? But sometimes we so low that we can't pull ourselves up to deal with what you need me to deal with. Right.
They don't see it. They don't even care. They don't even acknowledge it. It's just like, I have to get me. I have
Verbal
to get
diarrhea.
this off of me. And they don't care.
Yeah. I become very mindful to make sure before I call somebody to vent, I'm like, because I've said it before, Stacy is one of my really good friends, and before I dump on her, I'm like, do you have the emotional capacity for this?
Right.
Because you have to be mindful of that.
Yes.
That's emotional maturity. You know what I'm saying? That's emotional intelligence. To be able to see, you know what, I do have a problem. I want to talk to you, but I see you might not be in the, right, you got something going on. So I may pull that back and try to resolve it within myself, or find another outlet. One of my therapists, I said one of, because
it's a support system.
Indeed, it's a support system. I have a male and a female, because I've been around women all my life, so I know how women think, right? But I got the male therapist because I wanted a male perspective.
Yes.
Exactly. I want that balance.
Right.
And that's important, I think.
That is. That really is. I had a male therapist and a female therapist throughout since probably 2006. It's been male and female, you know. I needed that balance too. Yeah. Because I sometimes struggle with more feminine tendencies than male tendencies because I grew up around women, and it can be perceived the wrong way, taken wrong. At this point in my life, I don't care how you take it.
Right.
I don't. I mean, like, I'm not explaining how I feel or how I move in this moment.
Right. And nor should you have to.
But I
Okay.
used to feel like I had to.
Yeah, because we got to explain our existence.
Or try to pacify the other person so they don't feel as bad. But I really want to just like, but you'd be like, I'm okay today.
Right. However I show up today, that's how I show up.
Yep.
And hold space for that.
One thing I was going to say when you said about the check-in, my best friend, he would ask me some days, we'll talk, you know, how you doing, you know, da-da-da-da. Then before he go into something heavy, he'll say, how you feeling, friend? Good? And I was like, that is amazing. Somebody asked me how I'm feeling.
Right.
And he said, I only asked because I was finna load you up, you know. I was like, okay, I'm ready. But now I had that heads up to say, friend, not today. I have had moments when I say, friend, maybe later let me take a nap.
Right.
You know, but you good though. Ain't nobody finna, you know, trouble, you know, only I can come drop kick somebody anytime.
Right, because I feel like that.
I live on that. I stay on that street, so that's fine. But just get to that part. But if you finna dump someone right now, give me about an hour or two. You know, we can talk, but I got you.
And that's really emotional intelligence, knowing when I need to take a beat. I can't do this right now. Battery died, and
we been.
Yeah. Scoot a little closer. You don't bite in your own house.
There it is. Who did it?
So we were talking about emotional capacity, and it really does feel good that somebody checks in on you like that.
No, for real. I would say, like, we can go back in the day. Of course, you did that, I did that, you know, but being in this new situation, new life, and down here and all this stuff, I haven't really had that in a long time. And it just was like, wow, thinking about me, you asked me a question, okay, great, and you want to hear the answer?
Right.
And they listen, you know, so most time people are like, but they brush past what you're saying or kind of downplay it, but I was just like, wow, I think I found my best friend.
Yeah.
You know, like, for real.
Or call you and be like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, just
what
check
you
on
doing today? Or the ones that be like, hey, how you doing? What you doing today? Oh, by the way, yeah, them are the ones you kind of be like, hey, okay, so cut the small talk.
Just get
to it. Yeah, because you know we do that. Like, okay, we see what it is. So can you just come on with whatever you about to ask me for? You got to do this small talk.
I already noticed when the phone was ringing, it rung with destitute, like I need help. So it's like, okay, hello.
So we talked about our friendship and how long we've known each other, and some of those negative coping mechanisms, some of the positive coping mechanisms. One thing I wanted to bring to light is your talents and your gifts. You can cook like nobody's business, okay? You can sew. You write. Yeah. You've written a book.
Yes.
That was a very good coping mechanism for you. You wrote a play or several.
Yeah.
You actually wrote that play and we actually performed it in real time. That was a beautiful experience.
I hate we didn't record it.
I know. We should have.
That was an excellent production, even though the crazy in the background was crazy. We actually pulled through.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was
I have
awesome.
pictures of it. I still have the script. I still have that. I still have a couple pictures. I'm just like, wow, I just want to do this again. So I want to, 20 years later, let's try it again. The same cast, like a weekend at an Airbnb.
Yeah.
We could just change some cast members. You know, just all that can just adjust, but I would love to do that again.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I've been networking and meeting some people, and hey, you never know.
Right.
It might be time now. You know what I mean? So
no,
we're going to collab.
More was the title, so
right. No, not no more. And we're really
full
there now.
Moment. No, seriously. Because it was like, yep.
Okay. So, what does success look like for you right now? And what are you most proud of in your journey?
I'm proud of my growth.
Okay.
My connection or disconnection with my family, which whoever's looking at their way of viewing it, but for me, I found a better way to process, cope with them. You know, I kind of look at it as a parent with children. You know, it's like, I know this child need a little extra help. This one might need to be popped on the forehead, but each one of them play their positions in my life, and I try not to let their situations boggle my situation. So when you call and talk to me, that's exactly what you're doing. I'm not filtering it. I am not taking it in. I'm letting you vent. And when you're off the phone, I am not processing or holding that anymore.
Good. That's very good. That's growth.
And the process of just growing and moving on in my own beat. That's another thing, because I always was like, I felt I needed a crew. I felt I needed a posse. Or you good? I mean, at one point when I first moved down to this area, I stayed in the studio and had 8 or 9 people living with me, and I was making sure they were good. I was eating because I was cooking, but at the same time I wasn't doing for me.
Right.
They were my priority. I was looking at you good. What you need, and then. I didn't have a car. I didn't have none of that stuff. I just had the place to stay, and I always looked at it as if, watch who you're entertaining. You never know if you're entertaining an angel. So I know you were in need. I got a space. You get this square over here in this corner, put your blanket up there with everybody else's, but nobody's sleeping in my bed.
Right.
Y'all
We can all share the space.
Y'all can have this area, but my bed is for me.
And we believe in that. We can all eat. There's room for it. There's no competition.
This is another full circle moment. We went to the club situation last night after the party, and a friend walked up to me. We had a whole bunch of combative situations, and I don't know what they were about. I just know at this point, I feel like you're trying to harm me. So now I need to protect myself. I saw them when I walked in the club last night, and I was kind of like, yeah, I've been liquored up. I might need to go this way. But they came over to me, and they said the most nicest thing ever. It was more so like, this man raised me when I was 17. We go way back. And I said, but help me out. What was the problem? He was like, Uncle, I don't even know. He was like, but he was like, but I just know we passed that. And I was like, yeah, we had the situation 3 times. So is this finally done? Are you okay? Is it the liquor? But no matter what in this moment, that person, I had to get my senses right. Because I never knew, like, even at a funeral, he wanted to fight me after one of our friends' funeral. It's just, he came to my house, got where I live from somebody else, and busted the windows out of a car he thought was mine. We had the same car, but it was somebody else's car. Oops. And because they caught it on camera, I was good, but they knew who he was, and if I didn't tell who he was, I would get in trouble. So he worked here. His name is such and such, But long story short, for him to say all that last night, that was more intense than he said before.
Okay.
So in a little bit, I kind of felt like he was genuine.
Okay.
So I was like, that was like, thank you, I appreciate that, because I really did put the ring out there for everybody. Sometimes I put myself on the back burner to make sure everybody else was good. So that was a good moment last night too.
Okay, we appreciate growth, right?
Yes.
Lastly, in closing, what do you want to leave with our viewers today, especially strong friends who are still suffering in silence?
It's okay to have the conversation with someone you trust, because everybody is not that person. You have to, observe that person first. Because you can be telling your story to somebody else, and they're telling it to somebody else. You got to find somebody that you can confide in. When you talk to them, it stops there. If you're suffering, find. If you can't find that person, I always say talk to God. You have to have a personal connection. It's not always about the building. It's not about. They say it's about the association and all that. I think it's about the personal connection, because once I got on that boat and understood that it was me and him, not me and them, me, him, and them, it made it much easier for me. We can process, we have a conversation, we have a dialogue, and recently he has everything that I thought about. I don't want to draw you out, but everything that I thought about, I can say it out loud. I need to get some garbage bags. I ain't got no money to get no garbage bags. I'm in class, but we get to go through the pantry at school. It just was laid out, garbage bags this week. Next week I needed, I think, toilet tissue. I was like, okay.
Manifesting in real time.
And then I was cooking for this party this weekend, and I'm like, I got one pot set. How I'm finna do this? They gave us a whole wok for graduation. I was like, God, now you showing that. Like, for real. Okay, I got you. So that's that connection I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He'll make it work. It will work. And if you look at it, if you want to say the universe will make it work. However you want to look at it, but I say just stay in contact, connect, and find somebody you can talk to. Don't ever try to do what I did.
Right.
Because it might not be the same outcome.
Right. And one thing I think you found cathartic is writing. And so if you are not able to find that safe space right now, journal. Write your own book, even if nobody ever reads it but you. It's very interesting to write your real and raw feelings in the moment,
Right.
and then come back a week later, some years later, and read it and understand where you were, and you're in a different, in a better place.
Yes.
So if you can't find that safe space, right, write it out. And sometimes if it's super deep, you can write it out and then burn it, because that's a way of releasing as well, right?
Definitely, because when I wrote the book, like I said, I don't remember a lot of stuff in that book that I wrote, because it boggled my brain for so long. It took up so much space. And once I was able to find, I got like 30 tablets of journaling over the years. But once I got all that out, it's some I don't remember, and it freed up space for me to move forward and be positive in other areas of my life.
And that's the key. Getting that freedom through forgiveness. And forgiveness does not mean me and you best friends all over again. If you harm me, I can forgive you. That's for me to free my heart, for me to move on, for me to be free.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I have to call you and say, I forgive you. Because that might be some power and control too.
Yep.
No, this is personal. And say, okay, I forgive them, and now I'm moving on.
Right.
And that freedom and that peace that comes from that is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So, Patrick, I want to thank you for sitting here and bearing your soul with me, as we've done many times.
Right.
You know I love you, will love you
back
to life. And on the other side, I told him jokingly in the car, had he succeeded in taking his life, I would have revived him. Madam Susu, go and wake him up and beat him down. I told him I would have haunted him. He'd be like, but I'm dead. No. Come on back here. What was you thinking? So, yeah, we connected.
I believe it too. I believe.
Okay? We connected like that. We're both try to nurture folks and have nurtured each other for a long time. And, yeah, we're going to continue doing that till the wheels fall off.
We done grew up.
Yeah, we done growed up. So thank you for joining us for another Strength in Silence podcast. Keep watching us on Sunday afternoons, again, as we continue to grow and evolve together. I appreciate you being our first deep and real launch of our male perspective, and letting people know that men can talk about these things too. And this show is not just for women. It's for men, women, whomever is living this life and traversing whatever path you're traversing on this plane that we're on right now.
Yes.
So, until next time, thank you. Peace out.
Do these. Hola, come on.
Look at this.
You can help yourself to the beef skills too.
Thank you.
The chef made those. Chef Joshua.
Everything looks amazing.
Thank you. If you have any allergies, this is peanut butter sauce, and most of my stuff has soy sauce, and this is coconut rice.
Can you introduce yourself, Chef?
Oh, hi, I'm Spencer Michaels. Hi.
Hi.
It's our graduation.
I am the new chef, Patrick Dawkins,
Woo.
a.k.a. Kai Anthony.
People, I'm gonna take a picture.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
We got cabbage and
So
carrots.
I'm taking a picture. Nice setup.
Mr. Dawkins, can you tell us what this graduation means to you after everything that you've been through?
I am so excited about the graduation because it now certifies me in something I've been doing uncertified
Right,
for years.
for years.
So now it's documented, and it makes me a professional chef.
Indeed. That's a milestone.
Yes.
And a success.
Many years of cooking, but now it's like you can
It's
work
efficient.
and get paid for what you're working.
Yes, exactly. And that's important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need you to see this wonderful plate. And I need you to see these folks enjoying this wonderful food.
Along with our instructor Josh, learn a little bit about them when they enroll, accept them into the program, go through the program with them, and help them overcome any challenges and barriers they may face while being enrolled in the program. Patrick and Spencer have successfully completed the 12 weeks, so we want to clap it up for them. It takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot. Everyone faces different challenges to show up every day, and it's not easy. And I'm sure you guys can attest to that. It's not easy, but you guys have made it. It's a small cohort, but still, we celebrate and recognize you guys for what you have achieved. I'm going to invite Mr. Let's invite Susan up first. Susan is the director of culinary. We're going to have her come up and share a couple of words.
Guys, well, they're the ones who really do the magic here, and real quick word. So I've overseen the program for 3.5 years now, and these two students.
I got paper towels and tissues.
These guys, as Eli said, they really were committed. Like, you have some people who are committed, some people aren't committed. So, you have people who have different challenges in their lives, and no matter what their challenge was, there was a great commitment and a great attention happening for the whole 12 weeks, on time, in their uniforms, clean and neat, working hard. So hats off to them, and we don't even know what their personal struggles are, but hats off to them. And now this guy, Chef Josh, he's the real magician.
Like Chef said, it's their commitment, their drive that kept them here these 12 weeks. Like Eli said, life happens. Unfortunately, there are a few students that aren't here today for that reason. We've all been through a lot in life, whether it's a family loss, could be anything, financial, personal. These guys go through a lot. So kudos to them. Kudos to their attendance. They actually had better attendance than me. And I'm actually I went down with bronchitis, so I was out for a couple of days, and Chef Susan filled in, so she doesn't give herself enough credit, but she stepped in, and that's what we do. We work as a team. And what these guys learn too in the kitchen is it's not a one-man show. Everybody plays a certain role. These guys also helped Chef with catering events this year. So
Yes, they were excellent on a very important and big catering event.
So it was hands-on experience, but it was also, they got to see the full picture. Serving people, waiting on people, running back and forth to the kitchen, cooking the food.
Pacing,
Yeah, the pacing, the timing, everything. Just today, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little winded. I couldn't be any more proud of them. I think this group really, if I could say like one or two words about this group, it would be drive and passion. These guys, it's funny, Patrick has experience in the industry on the back of the house side, Spencer has experience in the industry on the front of the house side. So it's almost like a perfect marriage. Complementing each other's skills. And I think it helped both of you guys. It really did. And like Chef said too, their punctuality, being on time, being dressed, being ready, their attitudes, it goes so far. I can't teach that. Like she says, I'm a magician, but I'm not that good. I can provide the information and, you know, teach you guys what I've learned through the years, and same with Chef. We're just teaching you guys what we've learned through the years, but you guys have to have that passion, drive, and commitment. And you guys are already starting to get out in the workforce now. Already starting to pick up jobs, pick up hours, applying to many places, and that's the goal of this program. Sanitation, knife skills, how to handle vegetables, poultry. I can't remember how many times we did a whole chicken, but the first time we did a whole chicken, they were nervous. By the last time we did it, it was just boom, boom, boom. But they work with seafood, beef, baking and pastry, menu costing. We spent a whole week in this classroom just crunching numbers on a calculator. I mean, that was a real eye-opening experience for you guys too, to see that the part that me and her deal with every day. It's the budgeting, the ordering. It's a lot.
Not so much fun.
Not so much fun, but necessary.
I've seen them grow. I get really sentimental when I hear the students say that they become family. Just a year ago, we had a program with no real participation, and now to hear that, building those cohorts and hearing from the students themselves how they found family within is really it's something that didn't exist, and it's something that being in South Florida aspired to have when we did that program, and that was one of the biggest struggles. And now a year later, we're seeing and hearing that from all cohorts that we've become more than friends, colleagues, industry partners, but family, and that's major for me. So thank you for that. Thank you.
My job in itself is to teach financial literacy in different avenues, from basic budgeting to credit. How is it established? How is it maintained? Into the business perspective for those of us who are entrepreneurs who dream of opening our own restaurants, of owning a food truck, or you gotta get it together. I'm gonna have it together. Make this easy.
That's why I put out all those napkins.
All right, okay. All right. I'm like shaking. All right. Those of us who dream of opening a restaurant, owning a food truck, of being a larger part of the community by owning a small business, or maybe their dream is just to see a different chapter written in their books. Over the course of 12 weeks, not only have I had the opportunity to teach courses to these two students, I have had the opportunity to form a friendship with these two individuals. I've learned so much from them of what their journey looked like. And for one in particular student, they're more reserved. And I'll have to say that they didn't quite open up, essentially, as easily as the others, so you guys can guess who's sitting there. Nobody wants to open up about their finances. Even if you're doing really well in your finances, that's a very intimate and vulnerable topic. But for those two gentlemen to open up to me, not only about their finances and what their dreams and aspirations are, but to open up about the path that they may have taken prior to this and their dreams of moving forward and becoming the best versions of themselves.
You guys, this has never happened.
I know, I'm usually making jokes.
The three of us are,
Thanks a
This
lot,
is a big
guys. You got me all choked up. Shoot. Aspirations, but about opening up about the past that they may have taken prior to this and their dreams of moving forward and becoming the best versions of themselves. It is so encouraging to know that programs like this are available not only to give our community new skills, but to build this community and those individuals up so that they may be validated in themselves and they are an inspiration not only to myself, but to others who they encounter in the future. I I am sure they will be an inspiration to others. So with this, I want to say congratulations to Patrick and Spencer. Stop, you're making this, I want to say congratulations to Patrick and Spencer on their accomplishments thus far and where your professions will take you, who you are individually. There's just so much that you're going to offer, and this is just a small token of your testimony. So take with this and build, because there are people who will listen. And you guys know from the conversations we've had, you cannot be too prideful and too reserved about the journey that you've taken, because that may just be that opening that someone needs to open up. It took a lot of digging. Okay? You made me dig hard. Patrick made me work. Spence was like, hi, friend. Hey, now I know all of this stuff. Sometimes it's just about being humble and listening, because these are not just friends, guys. This is a brotherhood. This is family. This is showing up. They were accountability partners. They were here for one another. They kept me coming back. I was like, all right, y'all just let me know if I'm boring. It's okay. Like, we're friends. But you can be real friends. And it's just been an incredible 12 weeks. It has definitely been something different. I've never felt so close to a class. Even though there's only 2 of you, I think that sometimes that's just how God works. You know?
Yes.
Let's slow down the pace. Maybe we only need to. But sometimes that can make the most impact, you know, because you have the opportunity to be a little bit more intimate. So, again, I appreciate you guys' time. I appreciate everyone showing up, and I just appreciate you guys forever. Forever friends.
Part of our ceremony is also giving you your certificates and some industry cool stuff. As you both embark on your journeys. I'm going to call up Patrick first. This is your certificate. Wow.
And then I have a very special.
So we've heard so many great things from everyone, but we haven't heard from the students.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to put these down, and we want to hear from you.
And someone's going, I will be back.
For years. My friends and family are here and they know I've been cooking. I can make some pots rattle and everything like that. But for the most part, to actually be certified in something that you love to do, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I appreciate my sister. She's not my sister. She said we have conversations and it's just like we start out financial, we get a little family, and it's like what? You know, just like for real, family. Josh is just top tier for me. His whole delivery throughout the whole process, his patience, his kindness, his consideration. Everything, Josh is just amazing. And I appreciate you for your impact. I'm not looking at you because I'm not going every single I want to say thank you to Eli for just being there, being very supportive in the whole everything. Like you can call him, email him, he's there no matter what. Michaela, that's my sister too. Yes. Like literally, we didn't feel like we were in class. We felt like we were just at a family Airbnb for like. And we just pulled up and met in the kitchen. I thank you so much. You were amazing. I love the brownies. I gotta get that recipe.
I have it on my desk for you guys.
Thank you, Miss Susan, for your baking, everything. You were amazing. I had a little experience with critiques of things that I did not know how to do.
You made some bad pizza, man.
The cake. Amazing photographer, like I said, the entire staff is amazing. And then Spencer, I just want to tell you, you are amazing. I watched you grow in the class. No, but I met Spencer the first day, and out of the first 6 people that we met in our class, me and him clicked the first day. It was just about the personality, the drive, and I saw that he was hungry for it. And I didn't want to come in and be a teacher because we already had a teacher, so I kind of laid low. But he let me know that he watched me from the sideline. He liked how I worked, and he learned so many things from me. So that was amazing for me because I strive to be a teacher in a lot of things that I do, but I don't really like push the issue. But this is amazing, and this is an amazing journey, and I appreciate everybody. I gotta give a shout out to my family and friends. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody in your respective places. I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.